Good morning, all. India Medical Services IMS once again welcomes you and thank you all for joining our wellness webinar on a very vital issue which is hammering minds of parents day in and day out. Is this? Yes, you guessed it right. The topic related to our children who are future of our families, our nation, and this transition of our lifestyle during this COVID pandemic has left a major impact on child psychology. Today, we are highly delighted to welcome very renowned Dr. Khyati Mehtalia, who understands child psychology very well and has supported many families during this time. During the webinar, if you have any queries, you can write us in Q&A section displayed at your screen. Let's welcome Dr. Khyati Mehtal.
So, a very good morning to all of you, and I welcome you all on this webinar of child psychology. And I'm happy that, in spite of a Sunday morning where you are supposed to relax, you have enrolled over here and you are wanting to know about all this. I'm happy to know that. Also, in the audience poll, I saw that 90% of people believe that children do suffer from psychological problems during this pandemic of COVID 19. And yes, you are right. What World Health Organization has to say is children are not the faces of pandemic, but they risk being among its most affected victims. As we know, the pandemic has brought the whole world on its knees. More than 7 millions are affected, and 5 lakh mortalities, even more, have occurred. And life has been put on a pause for everyone. Travels have been restricted, the public places have been closed. There has been a lockdown in almost all the countries, the schools have been closed. All these things are going to have long standing psychosocial offshoots. Now, as the WHO said, children. Why? See, normal developmental stress is positive coping mechanisms, whereas non normative stress like trauma, abuse, violence, and this pandemic of COVID 19 has got tremendous effects on mental health and long standing effects on development as adults. And as we know, since the children are in a continuous physiological, psychosocial, and cognitive phase of development, they are bound to be affected. Children can be affected in both the ways, directly as well as indirectly. Direct effects of COVID 19 are seen in children who have tested positive or their family members have been tested positive or quarantined or isolated, admitted, or even lost. Even the children of corona warriors, that is, healthcare workers, police force, etc., have to bear the absence of the parents as they will have to stay distant from their family to prevent the spread of potential infection. These children will be affected directly. These children will amount a small percentage of total children. But though most of the children are not directly affected, they are indirectly impacted with COVID 19 as they are struggling with fears, anxieties, insecurities due to ongoing lockdown, school closure, closure of public places. See, children are confined to home for a long and uncertain period when they were excited to begin their new class or new session to the school. Although academics is the mainstay of any school, Schools also act as a platform for different social activities, physical activities, sports, and games. Academics is definitely interrupted due to the pandemic. Although the schools are working hard to provide education digitally, it is still not going to be the same. We'll have a separate discussion on that. Children are missing out the social activities which enhance the human interaction that is essential for the development of social connectedness and social skills. Sports, games, and activities during the school hours are important for children's physical and mental health. Moreover, sports and other group activities inculcate many qualities such as competence, leadership, harmony, team spirit, etc., which can never be learned on a digital platform. Social isolation is also a great contributing factor in the emotional disturbances of the children. Many children may not be close to their parents or immediate family and may be sharing intimate relations with friends, peers, teachers, or some relatives. So before the lockdown, the children had their conversations, that opportunity to meet and talk, share things with the significant others, and had an outlet of their emotions. But now, being isolated from them the res- due to the restrictions of the lockdown, this can lead to the bottling up of the emotions of children, as now they are not having any people for emotional outlet. Moreover, I would say that today's generation is a privileged generation. There is a culture of abundance. Everything is easily available to the children today. Their wishes, their desires are fulfilled immediately. That is how we are rearing our children. When they are upset, they have the options of going out to a mall, watch a movie, eat in a restaurant, meet friends, etc. But since now in lockdown, these options are not available. They may feel frustrated, angry, helpless at the same time. When they are not able to manage their emotions, they may resort to maladaptive behaviors like overeating, acting out, etc. The emotional changes resulting due to all of this school closure, social isolation, lack of the daily routine which they were having previously, this is going to lead to the negative emotions in children and adolescents. If we talk of older children and adolescents, their emotional changes are almost similar to those of adults. They go through fear, anxiety, stress, depression, etc. Having no physical or emotional outlets, as mentioned earlier, that can lead to frustration, anger, helplessness. And when they are not able to manage the negative emotions, they may resort to oversleeping, excessive uh, digital use, that is more screen time, social media use, etc. Now, very young children are not able to fully understand the situation, nor they are able to express what they are going through. And in them, we see symptoms like poor sleep, nightmares, poor appetite, physical discomfort, agitation, inattention, clinginess, separation issues, etc. I think there is some technical problem. Mute. Yeah. So we move on to our next slide. One important thing which cannot be ignored is the insecurities related to exams and career. We all know lockdown happened from 25th March and exams were postponed. Initially, the children got a sense of relief that they got more time for preparation. But as time passed, they started feeling more anxious due to the uncertainty of the current situation. The competitive exams have been deferred. The career of many students is at stake. A long gap between the exams can encourage disengagement among students from the studies. And parents need to be aware of all these anxieties and insecurities of the children. Schools are somehow trying to compensate the hampered learning through online classes. But online education comes as a double edged sword for us. Before COVID 19, all parents, professionals were worried about increased screen time and its harmful effects. Even a student caught with a gadget in the school used to be punished and the gadget was confiscated. But now, parents are themselves providing the children with gadgets for digital education. Many parents are having dilemma as to restrict the screen time or go with the flow. But considering the risk benefit ratio in the scenario of COVID 19, they give in to online education. As I mentioned earlier, though the online demonstrations and pre recorded classes may be innovative, they are still far from the dynamic environment of the school, which is emotionally nurturing. The problems in internet connectivity, frequently getting disconnected, may increase the frustration or anxiety in children. And due to the lack of emotional nurturing environment, children may start losing interest in studies. Now, due to COVID 19, the major change that has occurred in children's lives is increased exposure to screen. Their active routine of going to school, playgrounds, meeting friends, attending tuition classes, hobby classes, etc., has been temporarily shrunken just to the screens. And the addictive nature of the screen, the easy and convenient access makes children and adolescents vulnerable to developing digital addiction. Male gender, high impulsivity, low self esteem, and excessive digital use by parents are the risk factors which may lead to digital addiction in the children. Now, let us see the types of digital addiction. It has been observed that the usage of social media has increased significantly among adolescents during the pandemic, like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, and whatnot. It helps them boost their self esteem by the likes and positive comments by friends. However, it can backfire as regards to feeling ignored, feeling low, getting depressed if the desired response is not achieved. Moreover, children engaged into cyber relationship addiction where they are constantly there into chat rooms interacting with unknown people, and young girls tend to get into relationships more as compared to boys, whereas boys tend to get more into addiction. Such children are at higher risk for cyberbullying as they are the soft targets for perpetrators. Especially young girls are targeted, and it involves posting negative comments, spreading rumors, sending abusive messages. And this can have persistent and permanent impact on child's emotional well-being throughout their lives. Also, children and adolescents can be involved in online gaming or offline video games, which is difficult to control and that continues unabated despite serious consequences in other areas of gamers' life. Even suicide due to online gaming has been reported in few cases. Online shopping addiction is also common in the groups which can afford, more common among adults, but also in many teenagers this is seen. Now let us see what are the effects of digital addiction. Digital addiction can lead to mood swings where children show sadness, irritability, emotional numbness. That is, they are not affected by the things going around. Their routine can be altered. Like these children go on playing the games for the whole night, then they sleep in the daytime, which is also disturbed. They don't have time for eating, their appetite reduces. They feel disconnected from the real world. Like they start losing interest in studies. Also, they stop real life activities like talking with others, interacting with others, doing some physical activity, etc. Naturally, all these things are going to put these children and adolescents into conflict with their family, and they usually react with intense anger and frustration and emotional outbursts, which result in increased family conflicts. So, what is the solution? The solution is digital detox. What is that? Is it complete abstinence from digital use? No. Complete abstinence is not the goal in digital detox. We go for deploying balance between life and usage of technology in adaptive way. Digital detox aims at enhancing the skills that encourage limited, adaptive, and safe way of digital devices. So let's see step by step the methods to prevent and treat the complications, that is digital addiction, and also the negative emotions which have arisen due to the lockdown and other things of the pandemic. As far as digital addiction is concerned, first of all, identify and accept the problem. Overindulgence with the screen should be acknowledged, accepted, and realizing a need for change is the first step. Parents can help children realize and accept this problem. Second thing is identifying the triggers. The sounds of push notifications, bells, likes, or comments on social media or any other alert sounds can act as trigger, and children adolescents have the habit of responding to the trigger at the earliest. So here one needs to tame the trigger or keep the notifications off. Also, self-monitoring of screen usage time per day can give feedback children to engage in self-monitoring of their screen time, either with various tracking apps available or by counting on their own. Another methods which can help is one is screen scheduling. Limiting or scheduling the usage use mobile in the bathroom during meals at night time. Say you can set a time like no digital device after 10 p.m. Screen free weekends or Sunday. And it is important to use that device free time in fun filled family activities. Uh, as I mentioned previously as well, the adolescents have the tendency to check every now and then to and respond to the commands, message, notification at the earliest, which further raises poor impulse control and the need for immediate gratification. So it is very important to delay our response to all these triggers, which will increase our impulse control, and it can delay the need for our immediate gratification. Moreover, we all know that children learn from the parent's behavior. If a parent himself or herself is preoccupied with the screen all time and he asks the child that put down your mobile, the child is not going to do so. So the parents need to set an example by putting off their own mobile and then asking the child to do that. Moreover, as we saw, that children may turn to social media for likes and comments to boost their self-esteem, as somewhere they are get from the social media the reason why they are engaging there. So what parents can do is give positive attention to children in real life, appreciate the virtues of their children, and give the environment of fun to the children, which can attract them to quit their mobiles, their screens, and get engaged in real life activities. A very much needed positive aspect of lockdown is the time people are getting to spend at their homes. And we should try to spend more time with children, which was not possible previously. Sharing of household chores enhances family connectedness as well as instills sense of responsibility in children and adolescents. Setting up a structure of new routine and following it is important for maintaining the sense of predictability and normalcy in life. Moreover, recognizing and appreciating each other's virtues can help in building self esteem and self worth. Children are very happy to have parents as playmates. Hence, including recreational activities can increase the sense of connectedness. One thing which I would like to talk about is the parental stress. Because whatever I said, the parents were listening, but they felt we ourselves are not secure, we ourselves are anxious, we are overburdened, overworked. How can we provide all that sound and safe environment to the children? Agreed. The parents today are playing a multiple roles in the lockdown. Firstly, since the maids are not coming, still during lockdown they were not coming, and even today in many uh, residencies the maids are not coming. So there is the extra burden of all household chores on the parents. Moreover, cooking, meeting the extra needs of the family members, plus taking care of the children, taking care of their online education. When the children are young, the schools advise the mothers to sit along with the child during the online education. They have to take out the time for that as well. Also, the time for their work from home if they are not simply housewife and working. Plus, there are so many financial issues during the lockdown, which also the parents have to face. So the parents are facing these multiple issues, and they may themselves be disturbed emotionally and may not be able to take care of their children. In such situation, the parents themselves can resort to some self-help techniques like doing regular yoga, exercise, deep breathing, following your hobbies, socializing with friends, etc., to maintain their own mental health. And this thing is that children are also affected by the negative uh, mind state of parents. So the more happier the parents will be, the happier the children will be. So what we have to do is, although we all are stressed and things the conditions are inevitable, things are not in our hands to control the situation, but still, at the most, we can do all the positive what we can for ourselves and for our kids. Now, I would like to have questions from your end. Yeah. A question is, my son has become short tempered during lockdown. How do I resolve this issue? Becoming short tempered could have many reasons, as I noted earlier. Basically, your child is frustrated, is missing so many things, not getting what he wants, and this is resulting in his short temperament. So we need to understand what are his issues. We need to talk to him, what are his unmet needs, and what is making him angry, what does he want, and accordingly we can resolve this issue by trying to fulfill those needs. If he's missing his friends, maybe you can have online meets with his friends. Okay. Me and my wife also have heated arguments. This is creating negative effects on our children. Yeah, definitely. When the environment in the house is heated, negative, the children are going to be afraid, are going to feel very low, very insecure. So it is very necessary to maintain a positive environment in the house. Whatever arguments you are having as husband and wife, you can have that in absence of the children, and in front of the children, you both should be acting as a unit, a single unit. Can loss of sleep be a symptom of depression? Yeah, definitely. But depression is not only loss of sleep. Depression is a cluster of symptoms where there is loss of sleep or oversleeping, loss of appetite or eating excessively, weight loss or weight gain. Moreover, the hallmark of depression is having a very sad mood, low mood, losing interest in everything around, having death wishes, lack of concentration, indecisiveness, etc. But loss of sleep can be a symptom of depression. Financial losses and insecurity of a job is affecting me and my family is another question. Yeah, as I said, that some things are inevitable and we can just consider this as exam of our life and accept it as it comes and try to be still as positive as we can be. Maybe things will get better and financial losses may be covered. This is what we can hope for and try for. If government drops this year in academic, will it affect education? I can say yes as well, no as well. Because if the whole year the children are not studying, not doing anything, in either case they are going to pass their time using mobile, using the screens because they are not supposed to go outside. So if they are going to use the screen, the gadgets, there will be high risk of getting addicted to that and resultant they may land up into depression or anxiety disorders. So, dropping of the academic year is not a very good idea. But yes, reducing the syllabus, reducing the load on the students, this all can definitely help and are needed for children because the online education is not giving the same value as live education. So, there should be some compromise with the academics, but it should not be left completely.
Thank you, Dr. Khyati, for enlightening our audience with so much resourceful information. Together, we can lay foundation of strong youth in the society. If you have any queries or you can have any medical services related queries, you can write us on our email address, that is care@indiamedicalservices.org, or you can visit our website, that is www.indiamedicalservices.org. Thank you.